Carlos Fandango.
Now, this link I've just discovered, this link for the song that was City Light, the instrumental version, looks like ALIENOR, the artist. You'll have to type in the artist name and just we'll play her most recent track because that song's been taken down since I added it to the list. It must be that she's added updated the song since then. So if you look up ALIENOR, all one word. And
so, I have 2 results for Wanna Dance and 1 for Don't Give Up.
Yep. So Wanna Dance is the most recent one.
Wanna Dance.
ALIENOR is from Saint-Étienne in France. There's not a lot of information about her here, but in her bio it just says patati patata. And that's it. But this song is looking for a singer, so this is a good opportunity to put the track out there for if someone's put a vocal on it, perhaps.
I'm gonna say Rich Davis says he wants to work on his vocals. Rich Davis, maybe get in touch with ALIENOR here and see if she wants to dance with your vocals.
Oh my goodness! Hasn't heard me sing yet.
Right, so I guess we better hear Wanna Dance and see what it sounds like. I think she does very much electronic sort of synth pop type stuff, retro synth.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. The I like the graphic artwork because this looks
impressive.
it looks like very Tron style kind of artwork here, kind of futuristic video game kind of stuff. But I would say, how do you feel about this, Carl? Because usually we're talking about radio friendly songs being just about under the 3-minute mark, or just right around the 3-minute mark. So we got 3 minutes and 41 seconds here. How do you feel as a radio friendliness as far as the 3 minutes and 41 seconds goes?
Perfectly fine. I was listening to Hello, Lionel Richie the other day and thinking what an amazing song it was. And It was 4 minutes and 20, 4 minutes 18, something like that. And it didn't feel like it because it's such a good song. I mean, it was so good. And it just goes by in a flash because it's that good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like a way it does not seem like a 4-minute song.
No, I think the issue with things having to be radio friendly at 3 minutes or under is purely, I mean, I know it used to be this way anyway. A lot of the songs from the 50s and 60s were 1.5 minutes, 1 minute 45, 2.5 minutes. A lot of the Beatles songs were around 2 to 2.5 minutes, but they were crammed with so many good things and interesting points of interest in them. But I think the point that everything has to be 3 minutes or under at the moment for being radio friendly is twofold. One is that people's attention span is so shockingly bad these days, and 2, the music isn't as interesting, so it can't carry you for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes like Bohemian Rhapsody, and 5.5 minutes, 5 minutes 45 like Mr. Blue Sky. So that's the problem. It's not the length of the song, it's the quality of the music. As far as I'm concerned.
I completely agree. So let's see if ALIENOR here can live up to the hype here. So 3 minutes 41 seconds. Wanna Dance, also available on YouTube. So the link is there, but the link for Slaps will obviously be in the video description. But for right now, once again, ALIENOR with Wanna Dance, and ALIENOR is looking for a singer. So if you're up for it, get in touch with ALIENOR. I have more or less said that I do believe that electronic music is the classical music of our time, just because there's no instruments, I'm sorry, there's no vocals involved into it, right? But looking for a singer. Since we have a classical music expert in the house here, Mr. Rich Davis, please take this one away.
It's an interesting track, actually. I liked it. I'm not sure that from my point of view, I'm not sure that it needs a singer. I think the sort of synth sounds, I don't know whether towards the middle, whether they're like they sound like arpeggios to me, going up and down. Where it changed, I thought that made it really interesting, and then the sort of textures built up as it went along. I liked it. I'm not sure for me whether it would need a singer. I think maybe it could be built up a bit more, maybe with sounds. But as it is, I thought it was good. It's got a very full sound. It's catchy. There's a nice change in the middle, as I say. I don't know whether it's an arpeggiator, because I'm not a synth person, so I might be waffling. But it sounds like those little arpeggios going up and down, and I thought that created a lot of interest, and that interest carried on from the middle all the way through to the end. I thought it was very good, but I personally, I think it's good as it is. I'm not sure where a vocal would fit in, but that's only my point of view. I'm not saying I'm right. I may well not be, but that's just my opinion. But I liked it. It's very catchy.
Monsieur Fandango.
Okay. Well, actually, this is interesting because we'd followed each other, ALIENOR and myself, and I'd mentioned to her, because on one of her other tracks she'd mentioned about a vocal singer or something, and I'd sort of said, "Oh, if you ever got any tracks, just send them through, and you know, I'll see what I could do with them." And interestingly, because the time was different, I didn't realise this was the same track as the one she sent me to have a sing over and have a go, because the one that she sent me is 2 minutes 50. It's a slightly different version. It hasn't got all the bit on the end. Now, with that in mind, I'm sort of have a vested interest in this one anyway, but now I realise this is the actual same song. So, right, reviewing it without having heard, imagining I hadn't heard it before, then it's very sort of 80s synth pop, end of a sort of end credits of a space film or something on video, or Stranger Things it would fit into nicely. The arpeggiator, you're right, Rich, it wasn't up.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, the arpeggiator just does all that, which makes, I love all that. And the synth sounds retro, brilliant. The interesting thing on that 4/4 beat, because that thing at the start with this sort of arpeggiator at the start, it's changing chord every 12 beats over a 4/4 beat, and that's quite an interesting touch because it just puts you sort of slightly off kilter. I think that whole up to about 1 minute 10, it's probably a very long intro. I mean, I've got ideas as to how you could fill that and make it interesting, but I don't. For me, I would be developing the song a bit more and just or cutting that down by about half and developing it earlier into that change section, which is where the song really gets going.
Yes,
so I think
the middle,
it took a little while to get going, because you think it's about a third of the song to get going is quite a long time. So I think bear that in mind. But the version I've got is got that long intro, but I've got ideas for it. But I'm hearing vocally, it can stand on its own, although I'm hearing a sort of Alphaville sort of sound. And if you don't know if you remember Alphaville, but they did Forever Young and Big in Japan. Now, that kind of vocal, I forgot what the vocalist called now, but that's what I'm kind of hearing. So, and I think it's got a lot of potential. It's got very sort of spacey sort of feel to it to me, although it's called Wanna Dance. But I feel like it's sort of like a space voyage or something epic. It's a bit of Muse in there as well, with the Knights of Sidonia, that kind of feel.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Muse is definitely, I'm going to say, an inspiration here. Maybe not an inspiration, to her. So I did patati patata.
Yep.
In Google Translate, and it's just potatoes.
I wondered if it's like, you say potato, I say Potato. It's potato.
I
Potato.
I kind
Oh,
of I kind of thought the same thing, but I put it in, and initially the translation came up as Corsican. I changed Corsican to French, and it basically is the same thing: potato, potatoes. So potato singular and potato plural. Listen, I don't know if you saw my comment in there or not, but this has got video game
yeah.
soundtrack written
Oh,
Mm.
all over it. Okay, this is a very licensable song to a high energy video game like a racing video game, something of that sort. You know, I could definitely see it in there. It was kind of confusing going from kind of like a 32 beat intro to a 12 to a 16 to an 8, and just kind of like what you're saying, that kind of threw me off a little bit. But to Rich's point, I don't believe that a singer is necessary in this song. I don't believe that vocals would be necessary. I think the song is very licensable on its own, the way that it is, and for the BPM, for the tempo that it's at, I think that if you had added vocals into it, you would have to pitch them up, like, you know how, like, they have some of these techno songs that are kind of like have this very fast-paced singing, which kind of sounds like like Alvin and the
yeah.
Chipmunks kind of, right? So I think that the song is fine on its own. I definitely would trim about 20 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds off of the intro, as Carl was
Yeah.
mentioning, and I would put some kind of texture in there as a build up, maybe some strings behind it until it actually hit that, that first beat, and then kind of like take the song off from there. I think that that personally, in my opinion, would be a nice build up into the song. But uh overall, production wise, um I think that there needs to be a producer's ear put to this, because it kind of sounds like the equalization is pretty much the same all the way through, but nothing that can't really be cured with, with a little bit of work spent on the track, mining the lows and the mids and the highs, and then kind of just rearranging it that way. But all in all, I got to say, uh, decent song, and once again, very licensable to
Mm.
video games the way that it is. So I enjoyed it.
Good.